intro music, yeah! Woohoo!
Why am I starting off this video with a broken Vor'cha? Well, it's the first video you've seen this account have a 5-star ship, and that is actually a big paradigm shift from how the game used to be and is for you and used to be for me. So let me talk about why. Now, I love this ship. It's absolutely amazing, but to show you, we actually had to have Synchronicity come destroy me to give you a little bit of a culture shock. The reason I did this is right here. I want you to see the cost between a Tribune Tier 9 blown up and a Tier 2 Vor'cha. Why? So that you can prepare yourself. Not that you shouldn't get these ships. I love both of them. But so that you can understand what you're going into, because preparing for the future requires knowledge. Well, here you go. Click on the Vor'cha. Bam! 2.4 billion tritanium to repair Tier 2. Now, granted, there's a lot of research, artifacts, etc. that augment that cost. And then the Tier 9 Tribune at 377 million, which will remain my daily driver. Now, why did I get the Vor'cha? If I want to use a Tier 9 Tribune, well, simple, because the Vor'cha is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. Also because it's amazing. It's strong. And we're going to talk about all the different reasons today. That's the whole point of the video. But I'll go with the main point. I freaking love it. I love all of them. I'm a huge fan of all these ships, and you're going to see why today. It helped me punch up in solo armadas. It's helped me improve my game, and more than anything, it's fun. Can you tell with the energy? It's fun. I'm happy. Yeah. Now, I mentioned that this is going to make me a better player. It has made me a better player in STFC. And the first thing that comes to mind is how. Like, how can a simple Tier 2 Vor'cha jump me up past what I was doing with the Tier 9 Tribune and the Tier, big old beautiful pylon that I had? Well, a good example is this right here, taking on the Dreadnought. So, for those that don't know, you kind of hit like a wall at the Bajoran loop, where once you hit G5, you're kind of at the finishing line. Like, you're finally where you can take on it all. And that's where the Dreadnoughts come into play. This is the epic level 60 Dreadnought. There's a regular 60 and a Dreadnought 60. This is the bad one. It's big, it's scary, it does a lot of damage, and gives a lot of loot. And even the claim chest is actually quite nice. You can see me hit that claim right there. But you see the overall reward is like, holy heck and heck. Well, we're going to be doing full pulls for a long time if we're doing these. So, because of the Vor'cha, I'm able to go all 17 rounds and survive. And even my beautiful and look, and I love the Tribune. I have said it many times. I have zero regrets again the Tribune. In fact, I was actually talking to my friend Gowron from Germany this morning, who also loves his freaking Tribune. And it's a very good ship. But there's just some things that you get by taking advantage of the Vor'cha. And I also had the Vor'cha running the old school 5-6 con crew. Didn't even have it running, say Cisco. I actually threw that on the Pylum here. Let the Pylum have that. Why? Well, you want the reward ship to have the biggest one. So we went ahead and recalled. And again, it's how do you decide to plan for the future of this, in terms of like where you're going? Number one, you're going to need tritanium. And then eventually you're going to need dilithium. And a good way to help starting that process is to make sure you're keeping up with the Monavine, because the Monavine can give you significant amounts of tritanium. But keep in mind that until you get it, got it tiered up, you're probably not getting enough tritanium to really cover a lot of these big repair costs, or maybe you are. But at the end of the day, depending on how you catch your stuff, you should be able to maintain this. Just maybe if you're super efficient like me, you might choose to say, oh, I don't know, still use your Tribune. But either way, you've got an effective, gorgeous ship. And I can't get over how pretty this thing is, even damaged. She's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to put her back on the screen right now because I can't help myself. Or repair real quick and then throw her on the screen, just because, oh gosh, if I was real cheesy, I'd put on some lame music. But sincerely, I'm having a blast having it. Now, some of you have asked how do I already have it, this strong at Tier 2? Well, a couple of answers, because no, I don't buy primes. But this again comes back to me taking my time and waiting and not rushing up. Getting a lot of the research done, the favors, etc. So I have completed, you see, 5 of the 7 applicable upgrades. But also I have the Time Crystal attached. The Time Crystal is giving me a very generous 1950 whole health boost, which is going to obviously increase the overall power. And then I've also done level 1 of the new favors that just came out with the new loop, which is going to be this one right here. So I have level 1 Vor'cha hull plating, which is a 250. So, combine those together, you're getting like an 1195 whole health bonus just from that. Then add your officer bonus from the ship itself. That's how it's gotten a lot of oomph to go alongside with the researches and artifacts that I've unlocked. Now, there are potential drawbacks to this ship. In fact, I'll put it on the screen. Tier up cost of 5, 7, 9, because that's typically my pattern. And, we'll go probably tier 5 on this. We'll see how high we take it. I do have both other 53 uncommons waiting in the wings, but the goal here was to turn this into a PvP ship. And I think that's a very, very manageable goal in today's game. And not only that, you can, of course, use this for better formation Armada results, better solo Armada results, and even to a point of grinding. Now, will I use this as a grinder? Not early on. I will use this as a grinder as I go deeper into the 50s. But for now, my Tribune handles every grind that I have. My Silence, my Dailies, my Zindi, all those loops are covered by the Tribune. But what I don't get is the overwhelming power that is the Vor'cha. And that is not just to say this power number up here. At tier 5, this is going to be a significantly stronger boat in every way. And also, I don't have a little version of the Tribune. Look at it has a cloak built in. You'll have to enjoy it. Look at the cloak. I built a little Lego one. But besides me having matching real life and, pixel ships, I'm also getting a lot of value. Now, the real thing is, would you max this out? Well, in today's economy, I wouldn't recommend maxing it. As you can see on the screen, maxing these is quite pricey. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Just know that it's very, very expensive. So maybe something to hold off on. I still hold true to the 5, 7, 9 method. Why do I have that method? Well, that method, one, for free-to-play and light spinners, prevents you from necessarily going too far. Also sets good milestones for things like warp range and unlocking the officer slots below decks, which can vary from ship to ship. You see right here when you get to tier 4, or tier 5 rather, to get that one, and then we want to keep pushing up if we want to go further and further. So that's kind of the idea. Now, again, unlocking all these slots will be pretty difficult. You see 55, well, that's tier 11. So unlocking this can be something where you say, hey, maybe I'm not going to go as far as I would with other ships. I'm going to not confirm that real quick, discard that. And as you can see, this is something that I'm already using with great effect. But at the same time, it's good to know the cost limitations. The repair costs are going to be a big jump, which in itself is not necessarily a bad thing if you've prepared for it. Again, if you are ready for the costs that are coming with things like the 5-star ships, then it's not going to bother you, which is why it doesn't really bother me. I knew Tritanium was going to be a thing, so I've got plenty. And I also have a backup ship right over there with the Tribune. I just put it on the screen. I've still got it repairing, because one thing the Tribune does have is a much longer repair time, even if it's cheaper. But I know that I've got this, so if I want to have something cheaper for the day, I can run that. Or if I want to actually go out and get a little crazy, this has better warp range, which means I can do better deep space armadas, better G5, G4 armadas, even though it's not really G5 armadas. We need, hey, Scopely, if you're listening, we need better, deeper armadas in the game. Not that I'm asking for more things, but I am asking for you to have content that actually stretches. So, with all these different things in mind, I am incredibly happy to have this. And even though the impulse speed is 171, which might seem a little bit low compared to, say, a Pilum, it does get faster as you level up into the G tiers. G4s are not as fast as G5 ships. So I am incredibly happy with my new Klingon ship, even though I will use it mostly for armadas and for PvP battles. But I have more coming. Yeah, what do I mean by that? I'm actually building my first Federation ship in like a year. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. The last Federation ship I built, if you remember, my Kelvin. Kind of crazy. But the Vor'cha is a fantastic boat. It's a battleship, so naturally has great hull health. It's also going to perform very well in terms of your Armada performances, and if you choose to use it as that, good little PvP boat as well. Not something that I'm necessarily going to recommend for everything, but that's kind of the 53s. They're a great move over to get you to the 56s. That's exactly how I'm going to use them. I'm just going to be a glutton for punishment and build all three. So if you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe down below. It's real easy, and leave a comment of your favorite ships in the game, because if I haven't made a video on them, I need to. And if I have, maybe I need to make another one. So let me know what you want to see on this channel, because this is the people's channel, giving you what you want. Like the video. See you next time. Live long and plunder. Stay safe, other space cowboys. Deuces, that's me. If you're curious when this video is coming out, well, maybe it's coming out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.